Hey guys, I'm Lyle. I play Tristan on Degrassi. Now, I think we all know Degrassi likes to push boundaries, so that's why I decided to do the 6 most controversial episodes ever Degrassi mixtape. The first episode I chose is Accidents Will Happen Part 1. In this episode, Manny finds out she's pregnant. Now, I think this is a controversial episode because it deals with teenage pregnancy, so it definitely belongs on this list. So the second episode I chose is Accidents Will Happen Part 2. In this episode, Manny now knows she's pregnant, but she decides that she's too young to have a kid, so she goes through with an abortion. This episode's probably the most controversial Degrassi episode ever. It deals with not only teenage pregnancy, which is very controversial in itself, but abortion, which is probably the most controversial subject. The third episode I chose is Time Stands Still Part 1. In this episode, Rick's bullying continues, it just gets worse, and he ends up getting humiliated in front of everyone. At the end of the episode, you can see that he's going to go to drastic measures to give payback to the bullies. This episode is very controversial because you can tell, especially in the end of the episode, when he picks up a gun, that he's going to do something crazy. The next episode I chose is probably one of the most memorable Degrassi episodes ever, and that's Time Stands Still Part 2. In this episode, Rick brings a gun to school and there's a school shooting. This episode's most definitely controversial. Somebody gets shot, it's a teenager with a gun, it's a school shooting, it's crazy. It's not only one of the most memorable Degrassi episodes, but one of the most controversial as well. The fifth episode I chose is Standing in the Dark Part 1. In this episode, Darcy goes on a ski trip, she gets intoxicated, and then she gets taken advantage of by an unknown man. This episode's very controversial. I mean, not only does it involve teenage drinking, but she also gets raped, so it's pretty controversial. The final episode on my controversial Degrassi mixtape goes to Standing in the Dark Part 2. In this episode, Darcy finds out that she was in fact raped. Then she finds out that she contracted something from the guy, and then she tries to commit suicide. This episode's obviously very controversial. I mean, she gets raped, she finds out she has an STD, and then she doesn't stop there, she tries to commit suicide. So, those are 3 pretty controversial things to cram into one episode. Well guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I mean, I want to thank you guys. I had an excuse to watch Degrassi, like, all day. I don't really know what I'm going to do now. But, anyways, see you guys around. Thank you.